Hello violins. Today we are going to carry on from what we learned last time. So there's no song in the book today because we're doing lots of really important exercises to get strong, like strong music muscles and strong actual muscles. Because guess what? Like we learned last week, it takes actual strong finger muscles and a strong arm muscle in control to do the playing. So we're doing our proper it's like going to the gym today. We're doing our exercises. And there are videos to post today. Last week, a lot of you thought because there was no song in the book, there was no homework or classwork, but there is, okay? If you look back, you are meant to record videos, and you will today in this lesson. But let's carry on. So the first thing that's important, as always, is we're going on our D string. We're checking our bow hand. Remember what it should look like. And we're making sure that we're pulling with a straight bow. That is number one, our priority. Okay, keeping a straight bow, coming back. We do this every class as a warm-up. Straight bow, good. The second thing we're remembering is last week we learned to use our fingers, okay? So remember, you can't have fingernails, so you need to check there are no fingernails sticking out. Second, we use a C shape, if you remember, and we play with the very tips of our fingers. So I put my violin up. First things first, check that you are holding it with just your face and your shoulder. You should be able to wave with both hands. If you can't, you won't be able to play properly, okay? You should be able to stand up and sit down without touching your violin. It's very important that you can keep your violin balanced. It's a little hard with this giant sweater, but it's important because you cannot be using your hand to hold your violin up. So remember, it shouldn't be in front of you, it should be off to the side, and you're using your head to balance it, okay? Because when we start playing, you are not allowed to hold it up. So we're gonna put our hand here, and remember the only place you're touching is with your thumb. Then you put your fingers down, and it still has a C shape. So there's so much space, I can fit my bow in here. Yeah, so much space in between. My fingers are leaving that C shape, like this. The only place I'm touching the violin is with this part of my thumb and the tips of my fingers. If your hand, look in a mirror now, and if your hand is up like this to hold up the violin, wrong. You need to imagine there's like a little spike here sticking out of your violin, and every time you do this, ow, imaginary spike. You must not be holding your hand in like this, because then you're going to get gross squished fingers and you're not going to get a good sound. And you are not using your hand to hold up your violin. That's number one. Otherwise, you will never be able to play fast and move your fingers because you'll be too busy holding the violin up. It has to stand up on its own. That's very important. So let's get our hands ready. Remember, we put finger 1, finger 2, finger 3 on our stickers. And it's all still, there's a huge space in my hand. You can see it this way. Huge space. Just your fingertips and thumb. Then you squeeze really hard with those fingertips. Squeeze! And you should have lines on your fingers when you are finished. Okay? Like I said, the more you do this, it doesn't hurt me at all. But I remember how much it hurt when I first did it. You need to get strong. So, we're going to do this. We're going to put all 3 fingers down. This note is a G. We're playing it on our D string, not our G string. But when we add fingers, each time it makes a different note. You can hear that. They're all different notes. So 3 fingers on your G string is on your D string is a G. And we're just going to practice that long note. Remember, if you get this sound, it means you're not pressing hard enough. So press really hard and try again. Check that you're keeping a straight bow. The other thing is I want to make sure you're doing it long enough. So watch, play with me. I'm going to count in. Start at the frog. 1, 2, 3, 4. Play 2, 3, 4. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Play 2, 3, 4. Good. Now lift up just your 3rd finger. But remember, you don't need to, I'm doing this so you can see I'm lifting it up. But actually, keep it really close so it's in the right spot. So we can put it back down if we want. Down, up, down, up, down. Maybe just practice that. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Little movement. My pinky's doing nothing. It's just hanging out with its best friend. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down. So lift up your third finger. So you just have finger 1 and 2 down. That's an F sharp. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. 1, 2, 3, 4. Play 2, 3, 4. If you finish making sound before I finish counting to 4, you have not gone slow enough. Okay, you need to practice keeping a long, slow, straight bow. We'll use fast bows later. Now lift up your second finger. So there's just one finger down, like this. But remember, we keep our fingers ready. This is an E. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. And if you get that extra sound like I just did, it's because I didn't balance my seesaw. So we're really working on playing just one string at a time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Great job. Okay. So now the last one, of course, is no fingers for a D. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. So you need to practice as your warm-up doing that long, slow movement and clean, straight bow. Now remember, we're not pulling across. My arm isn't up high. I'm using my wrist and my elbow, and actually to play this D, I'm pulling more at an angle down towards the floor. My shoulder's barely moving. It's my elbow and my wrist. When we start at the frog, my wrist is bent like almost like a bird. And down, when I get to the bottom, you can't see it, but my wrist is the opposite direction like this. So you're going from this to this, this to this. So if you can't do that straight and long and slow with a good sound, then don't move past this. Do it again and again and try it on open strings, because this is the most important thing other than what we're going to do next, okay? So you need to get each step one thing at a time. So just take your time. So the goal is to do this. We're going to start here, G, and then 2 fingers for F sharp, 1 finger for E, no fingers for D. If that's easy for you, do it also going up. D, D, 1 finger for E, 2 fingers for F sharp, 3 fingers for G, and back down, 2 fingers for F sharp, 1 finger for E, no fingers for D. Practice all of that on your D string. Once you can do that comfortably, move on to our rhythm exercises for today, which are your tasks for today. If this is all you spend your class working on, so long as it's to make sure you're doing a really good sound, that's okay, and you can send in a video of this exercise instead. If you're ready to move on, go to rhythm exercise number 1.